I'm here to speak to you today about my personal journey of learning and growth. This is a journey that took me through multiple states, different industries, and through many difficult personal life lessons. I grew up in Michigan. My dad worked for Ford for 30 years, and I attended Detroit Catholic Central High School. As far back as I can remember, all I really wanted to do was play football. I had never even taken an art class until my senior year at CC. I didn't know I had any talent, but my teacher, Mr. Nesbitt, he saw something in me and submitted some of my artwork to the National Scholastic Art Competition, where I won 2 golden keys. And it's a good thing that he did, because the following year I blew out my knee in the first round of the state playoffs, ending my dream of playing football, but opening up the door to my future career. After CC, I attended Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia, where I majored in 3-dimensional computer animation with an emphasis in visual effects. I knew that I wanted to go to Los Angeles and work in the film industry, but I didn't realize how hard that would be. After graduation, I got offered a job by a company called Cinesight, and I drove directly out to LA. About 2 days after getting to LA, Cinesight Los Angeles closed down and I was out of a job. I had no work history and I was broke. Luckily, some of the senior management at Cinesight were starting a new company and they were willing to bring me on. The only caveat was that I had to change job positions. So I moved from 3D to compositing. And for those of you who don't know what compositing is you take all of the CGI elements and you match them with a live action plate, do final color grading, and that's what ends up getting cut into the film. I did this successfully for about 4.5 years, working on films like Chronicles of Riddick and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And I loved my job, but I hated the life. I worked 12 to 18 hours a day, and I was always worried about where my next paycheck would come from, jumping from project to project. So the first opportunity that I got, I left Los Angeles and I moved to Dallas, Texas. I moved there because there were some indie films being shot in Louisiana that I was working on, and I also worked at a commercial post-production facility in Fort Worth. While I was in Fort Worth, I got the opportunity to run a motion capture rig, do some on-set commercial supervision, and also do a little bit of producing. One of the things that I got to produce on was a segment of GameStop's in-store television, and I was doing game reviews. So I got to play video games all day long, write game reviews. It's a pretty sweet gig if you can get it. I did this for about 5 weeks, and I had this idea that I had to make a video game. So I called up a friend of mine who was a lead animator at a video game studio in Dallas, and we had about a 4-hour conversation. At the end of the conversation, we decided that we were going to start a company and make a video game. So we did. What we didn't do was all the things that we had to do beforehand to monetize a video game. So we had this video game, but we had no place to sell it. We hadn't become approved developers on platforms like Sony and Microsoft, and we didn't have any publishing partners that could take our product to retail. So we started cold calling, and we got told no a ton of times by a ton of different publishers, and we finally found a small publisher that was willing to give us a chance, and we turned that chance into our first commercial title, which was Galactic Bowling for the Wii. I mean, Alien Monster Bowling League for the Wii, which is a port of Galactic Bowling. This game didn't generate a whole lot of money for us, but what it did was it gave us the ability to start a studio, hire talent, and ultimately become approved developers on all the major platforms. This led to 5 years of successful development until 2010. In 2010, we were heavily leveraged into some of our own personal IP, and we had one big contract that was a little bit over $1 million. We ended up losing that contract and ultimately our business. So I was broke again. I'd lost my life savings and again had to make a decision. I could stay in Dallas and continue to work in the industries that I knew, or I could leave and try something different. So I moved back to Michigan. I moved back because I had seen some cool things going on here. I'd seen the film industry starting to grow. I had seen some tech startups. I thought this would be an opportunity for me to come back and be part of this growth. However, I had no idea how my skills would relate. As soon as I came back, I started networking, and right away I had opportunities, but they weren't quite what I was looking for. I wanted something that was stable, that would give me a good work-life balance, that also allowed me to be creative and innovative. That's when I met TC. TC Wingrove is one of the innovation leaders at Visteon. He brought me in for a meeting, and we spent a day together at Visteon, and at the end of the day, he offered me a job. I accepted the job, but I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to be doing at Visteon, which freaked me out a little bit. I started working there, and the first project in October, and the first project they put me on was a dual stereoscopic display cluster. And this was perfect for me because I had actually done a stereoscopic content for a 4D ride called Skies Over Texas. So I was able to adapt those skills, produce the stereoscopic cluster, and deliver it for the Consumer Electronics Show in January. After that, we started to look at the different tools, techniques, and software that I was using in these other industries and adapt them to work in the innovation group. Doing this opened up opportunities for employment. I was able to hire 3 of my former video game employees, a programmer, a technical artist, and a producer, to come and work at Visteon with me. We also hired 2 additional artists from non-automotive backgrounds. This is some of the work that they've created over the last 12 months. Another thing that we've done recently is we've started to reach out to non-traditional communities. One of those is the CG Society. CG Society is a community of artists that are typically video game, film, concept art type people. And we posted a challenge there to create a new HMI experience. We got about 75 entries, and we were able to work with the winner of this competition to integrate some of his ideas into a property for this year's CES. We have an opportunity to be part of what I believe is the first truly revolutionary change in the automotive industry in my lifetime. With autonomous vehicles, we have the challenge and the privilege of redefining what the automotive experience is. And with the vision to see talent outside of this industry and show them the opportunities that an industry with this much rich tradition and history has to offer, we can adapt their skills to the automotive industry to help us all grow. Thank you.